Before there was Connor McDavid, there was Taylor Hall, there was Nail Yakupov, there was hope, there was heartbreak. And in those early years of the rebuild, the Edmonton Oilers learned the hard truth. Talent alone does not build champions. It takes patience, it takes chemistry, it takes the right people at the right time. This is the story of how the Edmonton Oilers used those lessons to finally get it right, and how a group of CHL stars drafted with big dreams are now chasing the biggest prize in hockey together. In 2010, Taylor Hall went first overall. Fast, skilled, fearless. In 2012, it was Nail Yakupov. Electric, emotional, unpredictable. Both were loaded with potential, but Edmonton wasn't ready. They were young, unstructured, pressured to win too soon. There was no support system, no development plan. Just sky-high expectations and players expected to save a franchise on their own. In hindsight, those early picks weren't just draft busts. They were organizational wake-up calls. They made one thing clear: if you ever get the chance to draft a generational player again, you better be ready. In 2015, the Oilers won the lottery, literally and figuratively. Connor McDavid was on his way, but this time, the team had changed. They didn't just hand McDavid the keys, they built the car around him. They slowed down, they focused on culture, coaching, and complementary pieces. Because they knew this wasn't just another first overall pick. This was a once-in-a-generation opportunity. In junior, McDavid played for the Erie Otters. His line mate, Connor Brown. His coach, Chris Knobloch. Years later, the Oilers brought both to Edmonton. Brown wasn't just signed for depth, he was signed for chemistry. And Knobloch wasn't just a coaching change, he was a trusted voice. It helps having guys around you trust, McDavid said after Knobloch's hiring. It lets you play instinctively instead of overthinking every shift. What started in Erie was now working in Edmonton. Familiarity, trust, structure. It wasn't nostalgia, it was strategy. Behind every superstar, there's a supporting cast. And in Edmonton, that cast runs deep with CHL roots. Leon Draisaitl, drafted from the WHL, started in Prince Albert, exploded in Kelowna. Size, vision, patience. Playoff weapon with MVP pedigree. Darnell Nurse, OHL captain in Sault Ste. Marie, now a cornerstone on Edmonton's blue line. Physical, vocal, proud. Evan Bouchard, a smooth skating defenseman from the London Knights, quarterbacking the power play, growing into a top pair presence. Ryan McLeod, a second rounder out of Mississauga, quietly one of the most trusted two-way players on the roster. Every game, McLeod said, "I'm trying to be a guy that coaches can count on." Curtis Lazar, Memorial Cup champion with the Edmonton Oil Kings. Years later, back in the same city, this time in blue and orange, bringing grit and veteran ability. Connor Brown, back with McDavid, back in rhythm, back in the mix. This is what drafting and development looks like when it works. 2024, the Oilers were contenders, but they weren't complete. That's when the trades came. Targeted, experienced, CHL tested. Adam Henrique, twice a Memorial Cup champion with the Windsor Spitfires, drafted by New Jersey, brought to Edmonton to win. "I learned how to win in junior," Henrique said, "and now that's exactly what we're trying to do here, together." Andrew Mangiapane, once passed over in the draft, then picked in the 6th round after a 100-point season in Barrie. Now, a two-way winger with international gold and playoff scoring to his name. These weren't just deadline rentals. These were playoff pieces, deliberate and proven. What we're seeing in Edmonton today isn't just about high-end skill. It's about culture. It's what happens when junior hockey habits, grit, structure, leadership carry into the NHL. This team isn't built on hype anymore. It's built on accountability, chemistry, and earned belief. CHL players who know what it's like to win as a team, now chasing something bigger together. If this hockey story speaks to you, if you love the journey behind the jersey, I put together a free collector-style photo ebook. It's called Draft Day Dreams, Building the Edmonton Oilers. And it's packed with original photography, behind-the-scenes profiles, and the full story of how this team came to life. You can download it right now at hockeydocs.com or click the link in the description to grab your free copy. This is just the first edition. More stories are coming because every team has draft day dreams. Only a few turn them into something more.